Hi, you're watching Transmission. Next, check out Queenslander's coolest skater girl, Evie Ryder.
So, Evie, tell me, how long have you been skateboarding for?
I've been skating since perhaps the age of 7, I'm 31 now, so yeah, over 20 years.
That'd be 24.
24? Yeah, something like that. I'm not good with maths. Yeah, but skating for a long time.
And what is it that you like about skating? You've done it all these years.
Well, for skating, it started off as something to do, you know, on the weekend, something fun to do with friends. But it ended up being something which sort of helped feed my adrenaline. It also ended up being something positive and active I could do. And it ended up sometimes being a way to deal with emotions. You know, like when I was really angry or sad, like skating was something I could turn to work through some of that hard stuff.
And do you teach other people how to skate?
Yeah, I love teaching people how to skate. I got a little team in Brisbane called Team Sparkle, and it's pretty much anyone that wants to skate with me. And I just go, you know, I love teaching people the basics 101, like how to stand on a board, how to fall off, how to balance, how to turn. It's just, I think that's one of the funnest parts of skating is teaching others.
So what do you do with your life? You skate? What else? What other sorts of things do you do?
Well, I was, you know, a social worker working as a health promotion officer for the Queensland AIDS Council for about 7 years. And then recently, you know, defunding, sort of left that. Now I'm studying film and television at JMC Academy. I want to become a filmmaker. I think there's so many interesting stories in the trans community that we just need more people to make films about them. And yeah, I skate all over Australia, skated in America, skating competitions. Today I'm wearing Daughters of Doom, which is a female skate competition that happens nationally here every year. And this year I skated in the final, which was really great. Yeah, and also I love doing stuff for the trans community. I recently helped out with the Buck Angel tour, and I put on some workshops around trans women's sexuality, and I love talking about that stuff. Also run a group called Many Genders One Voice, which is a trans health action group in Brisbane, and then we do things like movie fundraiser nights, help put on conferences, advocacy around trans health. Yeah, you know, to the things, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Queensland's known for people being very conservative and somewhat scary. So I guess there's places that you would probably want to avoid, and if you not want to be really out as trans in those sorts of places.
Well, like one of them today is like skate parks. Generally, is, you know, I'm quite afraid. Other than today, to speak at skate parks, because I'm afraid when I talk, my voice gives me away, and I'm afraid people will hear that at skate parks and maybe abuse me or tease me or threaten me with violence. That's something I have as a constant fear. But yeah, in Queensland, there's only a few small groups across the state, like maybe one or two in Cairns, one in Townsville, maybe there's one on the Gold Coast, and one in Brisbane. But that's really it. So it's quite a small community, and it's but it's diverse. You know, it's got all types of gender identity. Gender fluid people. Yeah.
Do you participate in the Brisbane Pride March?
Yes, I do. As working for the Queensland AIDS Council for the last 6 or 7 years, I've had to organise huge parts of some of the events at the Brisbane Pride, and I've got to march with Georgina Mayer, or Georgina, the politician from New Zealand who's transgender. I got to march with her one year in that march, and this year I actually marched in the Melbourne Pride. Melbourne Pride March, and that was pretty cool. So I love marching in it. Usually there's not many other people to march with me though, so it's quite a lonely experience at times.
Well, maybe some of us in Melbourne should fly up and join you. It's September, October this year, yeah?
Yeah. We're trying to get a crew together because it's, the other thing we find is very few, a lot of trans people generally aren't that comfortable about being so public about their identity. And a march really puts you out there in the public face. So it's when you can find other people to march with you in a space like that, it's pretty amazing.
Do you see yourself as an activist, or do you see yourself as being a positive role model out there, or how do you see yourself? Because you want to get out there and you want people to know who you are and what you are.
Yeah.
So what's your goal? Why do you want to do that?
Well, basically, I see myself as a trans activist, educator. I've started up my own business called Evie Ryder Productions. So people can hire me to do training or skating or whatever they like, social work type stuff. But at the end of the day, like all the stuff I do, like especially with the trans community, is all about. My big thing is visibility. I want to make it safer for others to come out and be who they are.
How long ago did you come out?
I came out when I was 19.
So that was quite a few years back.
Yeah.
Things have changed a lot since then, haven't they?
Definitely.
What do you see as some of the really positive changes that have happened over that period of time?
I think there's been a lot more exposure of trans people in the media. Like there's been a couple of mainstream TV shows, like Big Brother had a trans person in the house. But I guess for me, I've seen a lot more young trans people come out. Like seeing groups like Why Gender start up, it's been pretty amazing. And Jelly Beans is the Queensland version of Why Gender. Yeah, so seeing more young people transition and feeling safe and having more acceptance by their family, I'm seeing that more and more. It's not as much as it should be or could be, but seeing that wasn't when I was young. I felt like I was the only one, and everybody else that had transitioned was maybe 40 or 50 years older. I'd just like to thank Ben TV for coming here and supporting this event and covering trans in action sports. It's really amazing.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you for joining us today as well.